s'il vous plaît.
Ah, parfait. À l'angle du bâtiment, pour que les gens ne sortent pas. Là, tu le présentes.
There was a bar. Good view. People like to go in somewhere, get a drink, get coffee, and it was very popular meeting place. And then they sold it to the European Parliament.
Ils ont décidé. Sans Valder.
Non, je viens de dire. C'est pour toi, hein.
Comme on dit pour les avions.
Cadem Congo Arab t-shirt.
دايم يدخل تا جورج وينه جورج وينه دايم يدخل
شكلها هي
ما تروحش نقف في الأردن
هي يقول علينا مو ضربة فاسد يعني يا أدم
Attention parce que quand t'appuies dessus.
Ils sont devant la cour.
Ils sont dans la cour.
Attends. Deux coups, je suis à l'antenne, un coup, je suis plus.
J'ai pas vu de drapeau. Hein.
Sempre there. Good to see you. How are you? Thanks so much. How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm
So ridiculous. You know, you are here to
I'm the first time.
this one is and all the people here are so engaged. She is such.
You've been in Ukraine, so
Can go. May I introduce you to the Deputy Prime Minister Jan Bosch, President of the Committee of Ministers.
We know each other.
The president.
How are things at home?
Oh, doing great. It's a nice coincidence that after Security Council and the OSCE, we're doing this under
Thank
the
you. I remember how we worked with it. Peaceful.
Yes, with Andrew.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
President of the Parliamentary Assembly.
Welcome home.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're always welcome.
It sounds very.
You know that this assembly and this organization stands for your sides. It's the first day until the end.
Yeah, it's
And we hope the
very
end will
nice.
come soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Can go in this direction.
We will teach them.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay.
We'll have here all the ambassadors of the 46 member states represented.
Hello. Good to see you. Hi. Very nice to meet you.
Close contact with Mykolaiv. I just had a mayor of my city 2 weeks ago.
You're always
Wish
welcome to me.
all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
President of the European Parliament.
Good to see you.
Yes, Mr. President, it's a great honor, and I have the intention to pay an official visit in Ukraine with the national judge elected who will protect your country. Yes. Thank you.
Panie prezydencie, witaj.
The President of the Minister's Deputies, Ambassador Wilson.
Great pleasure for me too.
It's a very historic moment and we're very proud to represent our Christmas Eve.
For me, it's a privilege to be here.
Thank you.
So much.
The Deputy Secretary General of the
Hi. Good to see you too. Thank you so much.
and the Secretary General of the Parliamentary Assembly.
Thank you. Heroes Slav. Thank you so much.
And delegation
I know
of
this.
Ukraine, yes.
If I may just. Yeah.
Secretary General, good to see you.
Доброго дня, вітаю.
Марія Мезенцева на зв'язку з вами.
Я вітаю вас. Слава Україні. Героям слава. Доброго дня. Героям слава. Дуже приємно, вітаю.
Дякуємо.
Дякую, навзаєм.
This is unfortunate that Maria Mazenza is not
Yeah,
because
because,
as a new
yeah, that's why I congratulate you. Yes. The child. Yeah, really?
Congratulations.
My
Theodoric Greek is the god of gifts, so I hope this will be
Yeah.
and a very good blessing for your country.
Mr. President, welcome at home.
Thank you so much.
All the people are waiting for you.
Yeah, really? Yes. Героям слава!
Найкращий президент України!
Дякуємо!
Дякуємо!
Дякуємо! Дякуємо! Дякуємо!
Найкращий президент!
Дякую.
Найкращий!
Героям слава!
Very strong commitment for
bien.
Bonjour, ça va?
Personne? Toi aussi? Allez, on pose. Vous suivez.
Ça, c'est le poil, ça. Cette compagnie, elle est là, mon ami.
derrière les cordons. Et on a tout le monde au niveau des...
J'arrive.
En stand-by.
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 Au niveau des entrées.
Steve, Charlie, tu veux rejoindre? C'est tapis rouge. Tiens, vas-y, vas-y.
Il va nous prendre en photo.
Vous êtes en direct? Avec le 21? Vous êtes avec le poivre d'Arbor? Vous êtes avec quoi?
Il passe plus, lui.
Je rigole, mais vous pouvez nous prendre en photo? Après.
Si, vous les commandez tous les deux avec les gars.
Conseil de l'Europe. S'il vous plaît. Allez, c'est parti. C'est parfait. Je sens. Eh oui, bien sûr.
Une à deux.
Allez, une petite à deux. Voilà, on regarde. Mais regarde, on fait une distance qui la conseil de l'Europe. Eh oui. Voilà, ça va passer là.
Magnifique.
Voilà, là il y a du professionnel. Merci.
On revient à la chambre.
such an experience even yes. You should also, you need also to think that you are the best equipment to understand how this is going. Yeah, so we did a lot. We tried. Героям слава. We did a lot.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава. With everybody and to discuss with him to understand what's going on. But I'm really happy today. You are so big. You are really so really. Sure. Don't have your able to do this. I tried my best. really. So we go now to the.
Once again, welcome to the Committee. Thank you so much. Once again,
now we will have a small exchange and then signature from this side. Okay.
Your Excellency President Zelensky, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished colleagues. It is with profound pride and an unwavering sense of responsibility that I welcome you here today for this signing of the bilateral agreement between the Council of Europe and Ukraine on the establishment of the Special Tribunal for the Crime of Aggression against Ukraine. This is not merely a signing ceremony. This is a defining moment for international justice. It is a resolute declaration that the rule of law must prevail over the rule of force. Today's agreement stands as a powerful affirmation of principled multilateralism. It is living proof that genuine international cooperation, grounded in legal clarity and political courage, can achieve what once might have seemed improbable. This tribunal will confront one of the greatest violations of international law, the crime of aggression. And it will do so by ensuring that those who wield power are not shielded by it. They will be held to account, not through retaliation, but through law. Not by vengeance, but through justice administered with fairness and due process. This agreement is the culmination of more than 3 years of sustained legal, political, and diplomatic endeavor. I pay special tribute to the core group, led with distinction by Ambassador Anton Kornievich, whose vision and perseverance have guided this process through 14 rigorous and focused meetings. In this noble pursuit, the Council of Europe and this very Committee of Ministers has stood firm from the very outset of the war. As the preeminent guardian of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law, there is no institution better placed or better suited to lead this historic undertaking. The Council's swift, principled, and unwavering response has reaffirmed its enduring relevance and moral authority in Europe and well beyond. As President of the Committee of Ministers, I am deeply honored that this landmark step is also being taken under Malta's presidency, where once again, following also our recent tenure on the Security Council and as Chair in Office of the OSCE, We also hosted the Peace Formula meeting for security advisors in Malta. Malta is putting Ukraine at the top of its multilateral agenda. And so today's signing ceremony also reflects our resolute commitment to justice and accountability for Ukraine and its dedication to upholding international law. President Zelensky, we all draw strength and inspiration from the extraordinary resilience and courage of the Ukrainian people. And today we reaffirm our solidarity, not in words alone, but in concrete action. Because today we send a clear message to the world that the crime of aggression will not go unpunished. Justice and accountability will be served. Now I am pleased to give the floor to the Secretary General.
Thank you, dear President Zelensky, ministers, President of Peace, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. Dnipro, another strike, another crime. This is Europe's largest war since the Second World War. And this war did not begin last week. It did not begin this year. It is relentless, senseless, lawless, and it is escalating. As new strikes intensify and global attention shifts elsewhere, we cannot hide. We cannot hesitate. We cannot look away. Dear President Zelensky, your presence here today in Strasbourg, at the height of the war in Ukraine, sends a very strong message that reaches people far beyond these walls. As Ukraine's men, women, and children continue to suffer, it tells Europe and the world that law must speak louder than the bombs, that the arc of history bends toward justice, and that this Europe, 46 nations strong, will write its own destiny. We always have the choice. We can treat aggression as a politics, not a crime. We can let those who planned and launched the war in Ukraine walk free. We can let global attention drift and pretend that Europe's security and Europe's values are not on trial again. But that would be the wrong choice. Ukraine did not choose this war. Russia did. And from day one, the Council of Europe rose to the moment. We, the wide European family, excluded Russia. We, at the Council of Europe, created a register of damage with more than 30,000 claims and counting. Mr. President, you are here at the heart of what Europe is today. 46 nations united in the determination to shape their future. You stand at the core of our European institutions. The Committee of Ministers, representing here in this room the governments of 46 member states, the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, and the European Court of Human Rights, which continues to hear thousands of cases from this war and from Crimea and Donbass before it. On the 9th of July, the European Court of Human Rights will deliver a major ruling. An interstate case covering Russia's military actions since the start of the full-scale invasion in 2022 and the conflict that began in 2014, including the downing of flight MH17. A judgment that will speak not only to Ukraine, but to Europe and to the world. Ukraine and the Council of Europe are signing an agreement to establish the Special Tribunal for the crime of aggression. A tribunal to judge between victims and aggressors, between impunity and accountability. Because without accountability, there can be no lasting peace for Ukraine and Europe as a whole. Last Sunday was Ukraine's day of mourning and remembrance of war victims. This Saturday, Ukraine will celebrate Constitution Day. And this year marks the 30th anniversary of Ukraine's accession to the Council of Europe. And at this very moment, this historic signature reminds us that we are building a strong Europe for more justice and for more stability in the world. That the rule of law is and must remain the bedrock of our societies, and that international law must apply to all with no exceptions and with no double standards. Que vive l'Ukraine libre et que vive l'Europe.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, and it's now my honor to invite President Zelensky and the Secretary General to proceed to the table to sign the agreement.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Mr. Volodymyr Zelenskiy, President of Ukraine, and Mr. Alain Berset, Secretary General of the Council of Europe, will now sign the agreement between the Council of Europe and Ukraine on the establishment of the Special Tribunal for the crime of aggression against Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the signing ceremony, and His Excellency Mr. Ian Borge, President of the Committee of Ministers of the Council of Europe, will join His Excellency Mr. Volodymyr Zelenskiy, President of Ukraine, and Mr. Alain Berset, Secretary General of the Council of Europe, as they leave the meeting room of the Committee of Ministers. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes, you can.
Welcome to everybody to the Council of Europe, and a very, very warm welcome to President Zelensky.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, and sincere thank for being here tonight. Mr. President, you know that this house is your house and the house of the people of Ukraine. And I wanted to underline this, and this since 30 years. When we meet at a critical moment in our collective support to Ukraine, support for justice, support for the fight against impunity, so that order and the rule of law prevail. And together with President Zelensky, we have signed a bilateral agreement between Ukraine and the Council of Europe, today's signature is a decisive step toward establishing a special tribunal for the crime of aggression against Ukraine. What comes next? We will open negotiations on an enlarged partial agreement to allow the widest possible number of countries to join, to support, and to help manage the tribunal. It has now been 11 years since Ukraine came under Russian aggression, more than 3 years since the full-scale invasion began. All institutions have a role to play. For the Council of Europe, that role is justice and accountability. Through the European Court of Human Rights, through the Register of Damage and the Future Claims Commission, and through the Special Tribunal. We have been with the Council of Europe there from day one, and Ukraine can count on the Council of Europe. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your presence this night in Strasbourg. It's a very, very important message that you pass us, that we have this possibility to have this agreement together. Let us work together and have accountability.
Thanks so much, Secretary. Thank you very much. And this is a really, truly very important step. Today we are launching the process to create a tribunal for Russia's crime of aggression against Ukraine. Every war criminal must know there will be justice, and that includes Russia. And we are now boosting the legal work in a serious way. There is still a long way to go. Politically, we have already made big progress, and I'm grateful to the Committee of Ministers, to the Council of Europe, and to everyone showing leadership. Justice takes time, but it must happen, I'm sure. And today's agreement and this tribunal give us a real chance to bring justice for the crime of aggression. Other institutions, even international ones, don't have the tools to do this. And we need to show clearly aggression leads to punishment. And we must make it happen together across all of Europe. Slava Ukraini! Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry. So much.
About Georgia, Mr. Zelensky, what will be your message to Georgian people?
Thank you. Thank you.
Il passe par ici maintenant. Il passe par ici, il signe le numéro d'or et il repart par là.
we can do shortly after this. Thank you. The president told me that he had
Here comes the light.
You will receive questions only from the few leaders of the five.
Okay, good.
And
Yeah.
then we will finish.
Thank you.
So I will do it as fast as...
Yeah, because the politics is always...
Son Excellence, Monsieur Volodymyr Zelenskiy, président de l'Ukraine.
Mr. President, welcome home. As a Greek, I come from a tradition where war was not glorified but understood, where theater did not entertain but reveal, where truth was sung on stage because the wounds were too deep to name in prose. And so, I turn to the voices of our ancient dramatists, those who 25 centuries ago knew what we are once again forced to confront today. Euripides wrote, "What else is war but the suffering of the innocent?" Sophocles warned, "The long day presses hard on the heart of the brave." And Aeschylus, who fought at Marathon, told us we must suffer, suffer in truth. These are words and not relics. They are today the daily reality of Ukraine. For over 1,200 days and nights, the people of Ukraine have endured not only explosions, but the silence that follows. Not just losing your home, but the quiet pain of seeing the world scroll past horror. They live in nightmares, and among those nightmares, one stands out as the most dangerous: that the world might become accustomed to this war, that a full-scale invasion of a sovereign state becomes normalized, that war crimes become invisible, that suffering becomes business as usual. But this assembly, this council, was created to stand precisely against such moral erosion. This assembly took the initiative through a long and difficult session in which I had the privilege to participate to expel the aggressor from the Council of Europe. To this day, we remain the first and only institution globally to have done so. The special tribunal is an idea born in this hemicycle. And today, Mr. President, we place a few quiet signatures on paper. Simple gestures, almost routine, but they carry the weight of a continent and the voice of a people who have suffered in silence. This agreement is more than a legal document. It is a forge. It is where law meets memory and where steel meets justice. You, Mr. President, were not born in a palace or a capital. You come from Kyiv, a city forged in the heat of mines and metallurgy. There people know what steel is, not just as a material, but as a character. And here in Strasbourg, a city that once lay on the front lines of Europe's wars and now hosts the instruments of peace, still become statue. The ink that flows today is not soft. It is tempered like iron by courage and memory. The Greeks taught us a timeless lesson. First come hybris, the arrogance of unchecked power, followed by atis, blindness, when impunity masquerades as strength, until nemesis restores balance, not through vengeance, but by setting limits. Above all stands justice, not as a punishment, but as a memory, as law, and as the true beginning of peace. It is why they founded Arios Pagos, the High Court for crimes of blood. There where law replaced vengeance. Reason spoke louder than rage. Justice, as a goddess, walked silently, a silent but unstoppable force of history. Today in Strasbourg, we echo the spirit of that sacred court. We say together that aggression is a crime, that sovereignty is not optional, that truth matters, and that justice is not the end of the war. It is the beginning of peace. Because where there is no justice, there can be no closure. And where there is no justice, nemesis waits in silence. Mr. President, I now invite you to address our Assembly.
Thank you very much. Slava Ukraini! Like at home. You said, welcome home. Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General, Madam Secretary General, honorable members of the Assembly, dear friends. First of all, thank you for supporting us, supporting Ukraine. Your support has been strong, clear, very important. In many ways, you have shown real leadership. Your clear political positions calling Russia's actions a crime of aggression, supporting a just end to the war, and rejecting any attempt to legitimize the Russian occupation of our Ukrainian territories have helped shape the political response of all of Europe. You have set the standard for every democratic nation across the continent. Thank you for that. Thank you. Since, yeah, please. Thank you. Since the start of the full-scale invasion more than 3 years ago, the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe has adopted almost 30 resolutions in support of Ukraine. The Council of Europe was the first major international organization to expel Russia for its aggression. You made it clear Russia's attack on Ukraine is an attack on all of Europe. And that's exactly what it is. It's a war against our shared way of life, a way of life that changed Europe for the better. Europe
was once the source of many bloody wars and brutal ideologies that caused huge suffering, not just here, but around the world. Not long ago, in just 1 century, Europe brought itself to ruin, and brought it twice. The devastation was total both times, but Europe learned its lessons. It rebuilt itself as a continent of peace. And today Europe helps others find peace and recover from tragedy. It defends international law and human rights around the world. Europe also shows the world how nations can respect each other even after a difficult and painful shared history. And these achievements didn't come by accident. They are not only the result of political will or public opinion, though those played a huge part. These changes also came from the right choices by leaders and the sincere beliefs of people across Europe. And of course, they are also the result of the work of European institutions like the Council of Europe and this Parliamentary Assembly that unite the continent. And importantly, they are also the result of Europe's commitment to justice, to holding evil accountable not just by force, but by law, by courts, by verdicts based on proven guilt. And we all remember that tribunal that brought justice after the horrors of Nazism. And the world will never forget Nuremberg years later, when hate and war returned to part of Europe. Another tribunal was needed, this time for the crimes in the former Yugoslavia. And again, Europe and its partners made sure justice was done in The Hague. Now we need the same for Russia's aggression against Ukraine. This crime must be judged clearly and fairly. The world needs an honest historic verdict, so everyone responsible for this war must be held to account. And not just because of what we all see happening in Ukraine, but through a proper legal process. It was here, in this assembly, that the first call for such a tribunal was made. The idea was endorsed here, and now it's gaining real support from partner countries in Europe and beyond. And I also want to thank the members of the Committee of Ministers who took a vote and supported the decision on establishing the special tribunal. Thank you. And yes, thank you. Yes, there is still a long road ahead, and really we know it. Today's agreement to create the tribunal is just the beginning, and now we must take real steps to make it work. And it will take strong political and legal cooperation to make sure every Russian war criminal faces justice, including Putin. And this is the path we must walk all the way to real charges and real verdicts. And I urge you to stay involved and keep leading, just as you have done so far. Some people, and understandably so, ask, what can a tribunal really do? Wouldn't it be better to focus entirely on weapons, technologies, and drones. Of course, military support for Ukraine, tough sanctions against Russia, political pressure on the aggressor are all essential. And these are the things that make Russia feel the true cost of this war. And yes, the aggressor must lose. And we are working on that. Ukrainian lives must be protected. And I thank everyone who supports our defense. But justice matters too. And it must work so that war criminals have nowhere to hide. Not in Europe, not anywhere. Justice must work in a way that makes it clear to anyone planning such crimes, crimes of aggression, that accountability is certain. And justice must work in a way that sets a legal principle: no rewards for aggression. That's why the crime of aggression must be recorded, judged, and punished. The Hague, perfect venue for it. The Hague is waiting for justice to be delivered. Thank you to everyone who is making that happen. Thank you. Thank you all. Merci à vous. Slava Ukraini. Дякую дуже. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Dear colleagues, President Zelensky has agreed to answer questions as the procedure is in this assembly. I will start with the leader of the Socialists, Greens and Democrats, Mr. Frank Zwabe. Frank, you have the floor.
Mr. President, dear Mr. President Zelensky, thank you very much for your speech, and thank you very much for your leadership, not just for Ukraine, but to be an example for all the countries in the free world. I would like to assure you the full support of my group, of the Socialists, Greens and Democrats, for Ukraine and for your work. And let me say, I really want to say you can be very proud on your members of the Verkhovna Rada here, who are here in this assembly. They do their very best to support Ukraine from here, whether they are from your governmental party or whether they are from the opposition. And I hope, I know it's a difficult, very difficult time for yourself, and it's a not easy day for you as well. I hope you feel the strength from this Parliamentary Assembly to support you and Ukraine. I would like to ask you a question, and I know for some people it sounds strange on a day like this where you lose so many lives. So how is the situation of rebuilding in the country? I know it's important for you to give hope in rebuilding already. Where are we now, and how we can increase the pace of rebuilding Ukraine? Slava Ukraini.
Thank you, Frank. Dear President, would you like to respond?
Of course, I will answer.
You are not in the White House.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm very thankful to all the parliamentarians here, and of course to all the Ukrainian parliamentarians. And I think that we have one big opposition and one big enemy. This is Putin. And we need unity here in Europe and of course in Ukraine. And I'm very thankful for the unity in Ukraine. Thank you. It helps a lot. Thank you so much. Then you said, of course, it's under leadership of Ruslan in Parliament, in Ukrainian Parliament, of Ruslan Stefanchuk. I'm very thankful. He's very strong man, and he's very big man, big and strong. But he has very big heart, really. He has very big Ukrainian heart.
It's very helpful. About reconstruction, really, this is not, I mean, this not, I can say it's an urgent question, because reconstruction is not only a strategic question, it's a tactical question. We have a lot of damages after each winter because of huge attack of Russians, because of, hundreds of drones per night. So it's about dozens of thousands of drones attacking our infrastructure each winter. So there is a tactical reconstruction which goes every day, and of course we need your support. We need involvement of your businesses, private sector. They give jobs, and we need financing of different institutions. This is when you invest during the war. I think this is, maybe it's more important than even after, because you believe in independent Ukraine, you believe that Ukraine will prevail. And that's why it's so important to come now to Ukraine, to invest now to Ukraine, to invest not in dream, in real Ukraine, to help our people. And about the strategic program, I mean that we will have very good meeting on the 10th and 11th of July, the closest period of time in Italy, under the leadership of, this time in Rome, under the leadership of our good friend of Ukraine, Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni. And we will have meeting with the leaders there, and we will not only speak. This is very good result for this year's meeting. It will be really a lot of projects, and we will sign these documents, contracts, and I hope that we will do it. Thank you.
Thank you, President. On behalf of the European People's Party, the leader of the group, Mr. Pablo Hispan. Pablo, you have the floor.
Thank you, President. Distinguished President, welcome to the Parliamentary Assembly. One of the founding fathers of the Council of Europe was Winston Churchill. Today, Mr. President, you, with your leadership and defense of your people and Europe as a whole, are a Winston Churchill of our time. And I feel in that way the first time that I met you in Kyiv. I speak on behalf of the PP, the political group which led the report on the legal aspects of the Russian aggression, which laid the groundwork for the tribunal and the register of damage. Unfortunately, today we have a more divided Europe, very often provoked by Russia interference. We have countries which lack the political or military commitment to adequately support Ukraine on the one hand and to prepare for our defense and security on the other. The APT believes that the fight of your country is our fight. What could be the consequences of these divisions for the brave people of Ukraine?
Thank you, Pablo. Dear President, I know that now that you want to respond.
So this is, I mean, it was from the very beginning. This is a goal of Russia. So this is hybrid war. It's not just weapon, because you saw that they've been not successful from the very beginning of this war. They wanted to occupy us, during some days, and we stand with all our heroic soldiers, with all our people. It's really a strongest of our people, of our nation. But what was the most important? The unity. And we could organize the unity in Europe, even without, there's different parties. Yes, but with different views, but with the same values. And I think this is the question of values, this unity. And Russia is targeting, yes, by using social media, TV, different kinds of media, but also hybrid attacks and cyber attacks, a lot of different things. These are instruments in the hands of Kremlin. What we need, not to lose this unity. I began from these words, and I really address it to you. And we need unity in Europe. First of all, it's our continent of real humanity, real freedom. And of course, for Putin, it's quick steps to divide all of us. And of course, if he will prevail in this, in dividing Europe, he will occupy all these values and destroy all these countries. It's not only about Ukraine. I think we between us, I think we help a lot Europe today. And really, the price is very high. We pay this price. We are very thankful to all the countries, all the participants of this fight. But we really pay a lot. It's our Ukrainian losses. It's broken families, destroyed lives. And that's why we need from you big unity. You are much more stronger than Russia. They're alone, really alone. Repeat it each day.
Thank you, President.
Thank you. Thank you.
On behalf of the European Conservatives, Patriots and Affiliates, Sir Christopher Chop.
President, may I thank you for your inspiring leadership by example for freedom and also against appeasement. It is so important that Russia is defeated and that full democratic sovereignty is restored to the whole of Ukraine. To that end, what do you want us to do to help? Do you want us, for example, to provide a more military assistance? Do you think we are doing enough in terms of sanctions against Russia? What else do you think we can be doing? Because at the moment we are obviously not doing enough in order to defeat the enemy.
Thank you, Mr. President.
It was an important signal from the very beginning of full-scale invasion, your support. Yeah, political support, yes, but it's steps, you know, one by one. Then we needed, after political supports and voices, what is extremely important now also, we needed very much military support. So it was like an urgent help to survive. And then, when the war is not short, we needed very much to decrease the economy of Russia, because they pay for this war. They increase their production each day. They are bigger for today than the production of Europe. By the way, whole Europe, including EU and other countries, UK, Norway. So this was very important. And I think this is the time when we have to put pressure, do everything what we can, of course with military support, but military is to stand. But to decrease Russian appetite, it's been to put sanctions as strong as possible. Banking, energy, and of course on components for their defending sector. It's very important. And it comes always with, it's a pity, it goes to European, Asia, China, even Taiwan, and other countries where businesses really, sell components, and then Russia uses big number of missiles attacking us. Without these components, they can't have such huge number of missiles. Sometimes really countries, they don't know, the private sector, they really don't know that they sell to Russia. Of course, they don't want to sell. For example, in Europe and other countries, they don't want. But we have to focus on it. We have to think. We have to be cautious and smart. Yes, and to look where it goes. And this is very important, not to help, in any case, Russia to increase this war. And you said what else? I think, what else? Do you know President Trump?
We have heard of him.
We need strong connection with him. We need Europe. I think we need unity between Europe and the United States, and we will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you, President. And now, on behalf of the Liberal Democrats, the leader of the group, Mr. Julian Boulay. Julian.
President Zelensky,
you are the great defender of the free world and of Europe. And we've been talking about you so many times. We've been following you, fighting for your country, and also for the sake of the whole European human rights protectors and rule of law and democracy. And it's fantastic to see you here. I'm very privileged that I can address you this question on behalf of the Liberal Group, and where, by the way, most of the Ukrainian delegation are sitting. And I'm very privileged that they've entrusted me with this task. Also, on behalf of all the Romanians, I want to thank you for keeping away from our borders, Romanian borders and Moldova's borders, the Russian troops and tanks. That is so important, and we owe it to you. A big thank you. Now, Mr. President, no peace without accountability and justice. Nobody is above the law, no matter how high Mr. Putin and his accomplices sit. No peace agreement that would normalize occupation of Ukrainian territories. This is the firm position of the ALDE group in this assembly. And now, my question is, what would you like to see the progress on the treaty you have just signed by the end of the year? And what message should we bring home to our people, our parliaments and our governments? Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. Mr. President, you have the floor.
Thanks so much. The last thing about what deal? Sorry. After tribunal talking. Next steps. Better to provide it this century, I think. I think the main signal, what can I say? This is a big, first of all, this is a very strong instrument. And I mean this, we need judicially, and I think that this is really the first time such strong judicial recognition, yes, that crime of aggression. And that's why this is a very important step. What we need, you know, not only words and not only signatures. This is great, but this is political win. But we need real practical steps. And that's why we will need all the parliamentarians of all the participants here, all the countries, all our family, European family, yes. And I think we have, yes, to do it and to bring, I think, to bring peace closer. And this is one of the instruments which can help, yes. And I thank you for all the words you said from the very beginning. And I really wanted, I'm not sure that I have rights for these words, but anyway, I will tell. Because we're in war, and I want to tell you, I think I want to congratulate your country with a very important choice. That's it.
Thank you. On behalf of the United European Left, the co-chair of the party, Laura Castel. Laura.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. President, thank you so much for your speech and welcome to this Assembly. As you know, we stand in solidarity with the Ukrainian people during all these challenging and devastating times. And the Ukrainian people and our continent deserve peace. On the one hand, what is your vision for just and lasting peace settlement? And for the other hand, at the same time, Mr. President, we also believe that even under martial law, people deserve safeguards of their human rights, democracy, and the rule of law, in compliance with the recommendations of the Venice Commission. We know, though, that the Ukrainian Constitutional Court faces several serious problems, such as lack of quorum and chairmanship. So, can you elaborate on these problems and whether you have a strategy to safeguard human rights, democracy, and the rule of law for all Ukrainians? Thanks again, Mr. President, for being here with us, and warm welcome again on behalf of the Left Group. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Mr. President, you have the floor.
Thank you very much for your question. The first part was about, sorry, it's a little bit late. Huh?
It was about
the
peace.
plan. So I think we had a lot of different documents, yes, and we can share different views. And there are some views which I don't want publicly share because Russia will know about it, and that's why it's not good. But what is very important, now we have to focus on instruments which will pressure Russia and put them to the table. We can say negotiations or talks or dialogue, but anyway, to the beginning of a way without weapons. Russia doesn't want it, but, you know, without any kind of ultimatums. This is very important. If we speak about peace talks, it's not peace ultimatums. Because freedom for us, and I think we showed it from the very beginning of this war, freedom doesn't have price. We don't sell it, and don't sell our independence. That's it. Really to save what he wants to occupy it. This is Ukraine, but this is more about not only territories, it's more about identity, it's more about philosophy, more about freedom, really. And I think he won't destroy it, because without Ukraine, I mean, he wouldn't be able to build the empire. He needs bases, and he needs Ukraine. We don't sell Ukraine.
Mr. President.
About Constitutional Court, yes, about Constitutional Court, I know that, I mean that, so we have some questions with it, but we will manage it.
Good.
Thank you.
Mr. President, we may have offered you just a cup of coffee, but I believe a lot. Greek coffee, yes. I didn't mention it because I said a lot about Greeks in my country, so. And I believe some hope, but be sure a lot of support, and a support that it is unconditional. Only the conditions of democracy are being served here. Thank you so much for being with us. It is an honor. Dear colleagues, the Assembly will hold the next sitting tomorrow. The sitting is adjourned.
Mr. President, I will say goodbye to you here. The Secretary General will accompany you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It was an honor.
Thank you.
Come with you. Thank you.
Please.
Your visit is very strong. Thank you. So I'm very I just told you. Yeah, really. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Давайте сюди, тоді швиденько. Давайте. Хто тут є? Вітаю. Три руки не просить. Дякую.
Плівка є?
Дякую.
Дякую. До зустрічі. До зустрічі. До побачення. Secretary again. Thank you so much. All the best. Щасливо.
Давайте, машина.